everyone, welcome back to another Marvel Future Fight video. It is I, the Avengers, always here back with some more Marvel Future Fight content, and today we're going to be going over the patch notes for the 7/23 update, also known as the Deadpool and Wolverine update. Obviously, if you haven't already checked out the live stream full breakdown, make sure to go check that out. We talk a lot about what's going on here today, so we're just going to dive right in. One thing I did fail to mention in the live stream update is that we actually got confirmation that Doom will be getting a buff. Yes, the entire chat for the first 30 minutes of the update live stream was just people saying hashtag buff Doom, and they could not ignore it, so they let us know right then and there. Actually, they found out that Doom was going to be getting a buff, and that is included in today's patch notes. So we got a lot to go over in the patch notes, and you guys know me, I like to yap a lot during these patch notes, so I'm going to try and go through a little faster, skim through some stuff, as there is a lot to cover. We'll cover it in the update video, of course, which, by the way, update drops tonight. It is a maintenance update, so the game will be down for like 6 or 9 hours. I can't remember which one. It's in between there. So make sure to get all your dailies done as fast as you can. Although, make sure to save a World Boss Legend run for potential of not only Deadpool, but a couple other transited characters that we're going to go over here today as well. I made the mistake of rushing and getting all my World Boss Legend done. But it is what it is. We will be live tonight. The update drops at 3 a.m. EST. I will be live then to go over the Deadpool Wolverine update, so make sure to drop by, and if not, watch it back, as we will be starting to take our first look at stuff, record some videos from there that I can go ahead and post, highlights and whatnot. So yeah, make sure to stay tuned, because it's going to be a good one. I can tell you guys that. So to start off, we have the brand new uniform, or brand new character, in Cassandra, Blast, supervillain, mutant female. Her ability is going to be mind resistant evil, and her instinct is going to be destruction. You can get her from the 30x Genes Daily and the Celebration Event Quest shop from this update's event quest. So you can get her for free right now, so make sure you log in during the update to go ahead and get your dailies done, get event quest tokens, and actually unlock her for free, because if not, you have to get her from the 30x Gene Dailies, which makes her a paywall character technically. Her leadership is going to be called the Modulars Technician. It's going to be activation rate when debuffed. It can remove all debuffs applying to mutant allies. Her tier 2 passive is going to have mind damage and skill damage applying to herself. Her evil spirit passive is going to have 30% chance to penetrate mind immunity and 90% chance to become immune to mind damage. Activation rate when HP is below 60%, as well as invisibility applying to herself on a 10-second cooldown. Her first skill is going to be called Body Break, with mind damage and blast on a 8-second cooldown. Her second skill is going to be called Psychnesis Meteor, with burn, stun, and paralysis on a 9-second cooldown applying to enemies. Her third skill is going to be called Telepathic Illusion, with snare, mind control, and capitation. Applying to herself is going to have a 100% chance to grant all damage immunity, all attack buff, mind damage on a 13-second cooldown. Her fourth skill is going to be called Austral Beam, with a Mind Blast decrease, as well as applying herself invincible and mind damage with a 15-second cooldown. Her fifth skill is going to be called Sentinel Activation, with Incapacitation and Mind Blast applying to enemies. And to herself, she's going to have a 30% heal, as well as Barrier, and a all-attack proc again on a 16-second cooldown. So she looks a lot like, obviously, like her sibling in Xavier, and Professor X. A lot of mind damage going on. We'll see if she can be meta in anything. Again, she's only a tier 3, so it's going to be rough, obviously, but still a character to look into with all that mind damage. Maybe there's something she can find her way into. We'll see. Then we have 3 new uniforms in Deadpool starting off here. He's going to have a Synergy uniform with Handsome Pool, obviously, if you haven't already heard. So originally you have to buy him for 1,050 crystals, but if you buy Handsome Pool first, then it's only going to cost you 630. Vice versa, doesn't matter which one you buy first. At the end of the day, you can spend 1,680 crystals to buy both uniforms. It's not that bad at all. To get a version of Deadpool, which is PvP, and a version of Deadpool, which is PvE. So yeah, this uniform's looking a lot like PvP. This uniform's looking a lot like PvE. Basically, what they used to do back in the day with Synergy uniforms is give them a little bit of both to, give them a higher chance at being meta. If one doesn't work out, there's a high chance the other one works out, and they're good for something. Deadpool, for a long time, has needed this. He's been waiting a long time. He hasn't been great for anything. I'm so excited to finally see him be good in something. Now, let's go ahead and look through, because we're already 5 minutes into this video, and we have a lot more to cover. So, His uniform effect, he's going to have a 30% increase of HP and increased chain hit damage. His leadership, which is called Marvel's Savior, love that. Applying to himself is remove all debuffs and to his allies and increase all basic attack with a 25-second cooldown. A gifted Sarcast in his tier 2 passive is going to, applying themselves, is going to have guaranteed crit rate, increased skill damage, and decreased basic damage. The effect will reactivate in 1 second after it's removed. His passive is called Healing Factor. He's going to have his recover 5% HP. This is obviously going to activate when his HP is below 99%, so basically all the time. And applying himself, he's going to have a recover 65% of HP. So lots of heals going on for your boy Deadpool. His first skill is called The Target Is You, Not Me. It's going to have bleed and physical damage on a 7-second cooldown. The second skill is going to be called Deadpool Style Technique. It's going to have a bleed, incapacitation, and paralysis applying to enemies. Applying to himself, he's going to have an 80% chance to penetrate, super armor, 100% chance to grant all damage immunity, physical damage on a 10-second cooldown. His third skill is going to be called Multiverse Crossfire, with a stun and silence applying to enemies, and applying to himself, he's going to have accumulation and invincible on a 16-second cooldown. His fourth skill is going to be called Cough Cough. It's going to have burn, bleed, and stun, as well as some more physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. His fifth skill is going to be called We Filmed the Movie Together, which is a sort of breaking the fourth wall kind of thing in Ryan Reynolds and, Hugh Jackman saying, Ryan Reynolds telling him, we finally filmed a movie together kind of thing. Applying himself is going to have bleed, decrease recovery rate. Applying himself is going to have increase all basic attack and some more physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. So yeah, looking very PvP heavy here, and it only gets better from here. You're not seeing any revives or anything like that, but wait, there's more. On his Handsome Pool uniform, again, same thing with the uniform crystal buying as I explained before. Applying to his uniform effect to be a 30% increase of HP and increased chain hit damage. His leadership, they basically stay the same, except applying to himself is going to be increased basic damage dealt to boss types by 40%, which is going to help him a lot in PvE, obviously. Tier 2 passive is going to have increased guaranteed crit rate, as well as some more skill damage. Effects are going to reactivate after 1 second of being removed. His healing passive is basically going to stay the same, recover 65% of HP, all that great jazz. His first skill is going to be called How Dare You Aim At Me, with bleed and physical damage on a 7-second cooldown. His second skill is going to be called So Cool Kendo, with bleed, paralysis, and physical damage on a 8-second cooldown. His third skill is going to be called Nice Guy, with bleed, invincible accumulation, and physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. His fourth skill is going to be called Oops, My Mistake, with burn, bleed, stun, and physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. His fifth skill is going to be called No Two Deadpools Under the Sun, with bleed, decrease recovery rate, and incapacitation, applying to himself a all attack buff, as well as some more physical damage on a 16-second cooldown. And that is pretty much it for Deadpool. There's the PvE and PvP uniforms. And then moving on to Wolverine. 1,050 crystals. He stays a combat superhero. All that great jazz. His uniform effect is going to be increased chain hit damage, increased skill damage, activation rate when below 30%. He's going to recover 100% of his HP for 1 second. Cooldown is going to be 100 seconds for that, obviously. His ultimate skill is being changed, apparently. Most of it looks the same. The only thing that is being changed, I believe, is hits. The amount of hits is sort of the only thing we could assume that is being changed. His tier 2 passive is crit damage increased by 50%. His passive regeneration healing factor is going to be 20% ignore defense and a 6% heal every 1 second. Obviously, only 1 second cooldown, so just be constantly healing. Wolverine combo is his first skill. It has bleed, stun, and physical damage on a 9-second cooldown. On his second skill, the only L so far this update and so far these patch notes is Merciless Slash. As bleed, stun, and physical damage, but they took away his V-pad. Rip. His old uniform did have a V-pad on his second skill. Unfortunate, but hey, they made up with it in other ways with a 10-second cooldown. And his third skill is going to be called Perfect Hunt with bleed, paralysis, increase all basic attack, physical damage, and invincible on a 13-second cooldown. His fourth skill is going to be called Chase with burn, bleed, decrease recovery rate, and decrease all basic defenses. With some more physical damage, of course, on a 14-second cooldown. His fifth skill is called Deadpool Wolverine, and this is the moneymaker, obviously, in PvP, and they only made it stronger. So it now has bleed, decreased recovery rate, decapitation, applying themselves is going to have decreased debuff duration, ignore target dodge, all damage immunity, increase all basic attacks, some more physical damage on a 15-second cooldown. So yeah, basically they just upped his numbers up in PvP. Obviously they couldn't make him too broken because he's already a tier 4. He's already meta. So they're basically just doubling down on the PvP, adding some more hits, some more damage. some more buffs on his already good fist skill. So they're only making him better for PvP. There's some rumors about him being better for PvP. I'm not seeing that on paper. Maybe in game that translates differently, with more hits maybe. But right now on paper, just because they're upping his PvP damage. Then we have Deadpool's tier 4, which is actually very unique compared to, the past, basic all attacks and whatnot that we've been getting. He has increased all basic attack for 30%, has increased basic damage by 20%, which stacks up to 40% for 7 seconds, and a 15% increase of max HP. And the striker skill is called I Don't Die, which is true, because he has even more heals on top of heals. And we're going to look at something else that's pretty interesting for him as well. Cassandra, her tier 3 is going to be called Spirit Possession. It has Silence, Mind Control, Incapacitation, Ignore Target Dodge, Invincible, Increased Basic Damage by 100%, and some more Mind Damage. And that's what's going to be looking like your first little look on the channel here at a skill animation. We'll save the rest for the update. And along with that, what I was talking about with potential at the beginning of today's video is we have 3 new characters getting potential realized. As if this isn't already a lot. We're already 10 minutes in. Already a lot with just those uniforms and all. There's so much more, guys. There is a Transcended for Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Jubilee, and the Dazzler. I'm not going to read too much in, but they have the basic crit rate, increase all damage, all in 60-second cooldowns, as they'll have the Transcended together, and you'll see that skill. Now, as far as Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Jubilee, it's just nice, Transcended sets them up for potential uniforms in the future. But for Dazzler, this is huge. She's already a really good mutant support, and now she's Transcendent, so that means she can be in those top-tier game modes such as GBR, as well as Otherworld Battle, be more consistent there, and in World Boss Legend, of course. So watch out, the mutants might be taking over, because they now have a great support with Dazzler coming in to star in this show. Then we have the Doctor Doom buff, which is huge. They're basically upping his second skill with 100% chance to grant all damage immunity. It's going to have stun, fracture, paralysis, and burn. Counterattacks when defending against an enemy attack, enables attacking enemies who have activated the ignore target effect. So basically just making it more consistent, which is exactly what some people like Commander, as far as other content creators, were asking for. And this is basically what it was before. They're also going to change the order of his skills during the autoplay, so as long as it's better, that'll help for game modes like Otherworld Battle, AC, and for those that autoplay Timeline Battle, such as myself. He will be on a 40% discount as well during this update, and his 5 uniform options. Even though he's not a uniform option for these characters, he is going to be discounted as a sort of, trying to make up for him not being great. And for those that didn't pick him up, such as myself, because we were a little optimistic, hearing all the bad stuff about him. Now at least he has been upgraded, and it will be, he has been buffed, and it will be nice to actually pick up his uniform and check it out. Then we have the Alliance Conquest improvements, which is huge and something a lot of people have been looking forward to. One, the overall playtime has been quickly reduced. So basically, beforehand, it took 4 days for an Alliance Conquest to play out. Now it is 3 days, so a whole day off. As well as battle time phases have been reduced from 2 hours to 1 hour, basically cutting the time in half plus an extra day. So we're at like 60% of that time being cut off from Otherworld Battle, which is huge because a big complaint has always been that, it's very time consuming. No one has the time for this, especially when the rewards aren't that intrusive. Now it has been updated and it looks great. So we'll also have bonus points, so there's a whole new system which we'll explain more in depth when the update comes out, but basically bonus points can now be acquired in conquered areas according to the conquering time. So for example, every 5 minutes you conquer an area, you will get a bonus point received to your team or your alliance every 5 minutes. So that's huge. It makes strategies a lot different. People are going to be racing against time even more because they're going to try and take over your spots so they get that bonus time and not you. To push to win the Alliance Conquest. The existing seal effect has been deleted, and the protection effect that prevents other alliances from attacking for a certain period when successfully conquered the area has been added. So yeah, the seal effect has now been gone, but now it's called a protection effect that prevents them. So basically the same thing, just calling it a different name, different symbol, and timer as well. Second, defeated heroes can now be restored at once on a team basis, so you can restore them immediately. It used to take a little while for them to be able to be restored. Now you can just immediately bring them back and get right back into the fight. And obviously you can use your tokens from Alliance to restore. The rules that apply to the winner when switching between the rounds have been changed. So basically, to break this down for you, before, let's say, for example, I have Wolverine. In the first fight, we take out the first 3 opponents, but my Wolverine's artifact passive has been activated. Well, in the next round, round 2, his passive would be activated again, potentially. So you get like 2 undead passives, basically, for Wolverine. Well, they've now changed it so where it only activates once. So if it activates in that first fight, in the second fight, it's not activating again, which makes things huge for revive characters, which it applies to, and, of course, undead passive characters. So another example with a revive character, Sentry. If he uses his 1 life in the first fight, he does not get another one in the second fight, which makes strategies and, compositions more important than ever, because now other characters have a fighting chance of taking out these meta characters because they won't have that advantage of the revive or, the undead passives every single round. As soon as you activate it once, it's one and done, baby. So that's pretty nice. The coordinated agents who successfully attack the defenders while the area has not been conquered is displayed in the defense info, which is cool. Number of defense successes for each defender is displayed on defense screen. So you're going to get, how many we're going to see a lot of screenshots, I'm sure, of people trying to up that, and we'll get some crazy numbers. We'll see when we get to the 50s, 100s of defense success attacks. That'd be insane. Available slots in the Save Conquest team have been increased to 10 to 30, so you can now save even more team slots and be ready to go. Just wipe out teams, and you can take 3 areas, basically, with having 3 set different zones of team composition set up and ready to go, so it makes things a lot faster and easier. The Alliance Conquest rewards has been improved, and this is obviously one of the biggest things. I harp on rewards a lot, and what we're getting is emblem data tier 4 growth plates, as well as the amount of gold that being required, as well as you can see here some premium cards and tier 4 and tier 3 materials. That's what we love to see. That's what we've been waiting for from Alliance Conquest for a long time. Just a little, incentive for playing the game mode will get a lot of people to play. Multiverse Saga, they have now reduced the purchase. You can now buy it for, instead of just money, 5,200 crystals, which is pretty cool. There's skill cooldown decreased value applied to each battle has now been adjusted as well. A couple of small changes to the emblem collection and Multiverse Saga just to make things a little smoother, which we'll dive into a little bit more in the update. Basically, the level of the emblems owned can be checked by tapping on each one. Small, just little quality of life changes to help smooth things out, which is what we love to see. And then as well as new artifacts, and along with that, a change to Deadpool's artifact, where beforehand he had a 16% chance to penetrate. Now he has the undead artifact, which they did hint towards in the live stream. 3RL was talking about it, where he basically is undying, and sure enough, they've given that artifact, and that makes him even more reliable for PvP. So not only the new uniform to help him, but as well as an artifact change. I actually have the 6-star artifact, so it'll automatically change. It's not like it's a new artifact. It'll automatically change, and that's huge, because now I can go in with a 6-star Deadpool undead artifact and just wipe teams in PvP, and I cannot wait for that. We'll definitely be showcasing him a lot. Gonna be trying to tier 4 this man as soon as possible. You can bet that. And we have artifacts for as well as Cassandra. She's going to increase all basic attack. For Negasonic Teenage Warhead, it's going to be increased crit rate. For Jubilee, it'll be an increased all basic attack. And another huge W in Dazzler, she's going to have a artifact to help mutant allies increase their damage to supervillains by 10%. So if she wasn't already a great support, her artifact makes her an even better one, which is huge. We have the new Future Pass. The new icons looking pretty dope. Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to get my hands on that Wolverine one. I might be pulled out. I might be wailing out a little bit this update, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might go ahead and buy myself the Mythic and Legendary Pass. I want these icons. These are pretty dope. This whole update has just me really hyped, and I hope it does for the rest of you guys too. We're also getting a new uniform collection event, which basically hints at the fact that we might not be getting, a mid-month of Sabretooth and stuff like that. We'll see. It's still possible. Usually when the uniform collection event comes out, it means no. But we'll see. There's a lot of rumored cameos, a lot of rumored characters in this movie. So I could definitely see them doing a mid-month at some point to sneak in, a couple characters that have been needing an upgrade and giving it to them because they were cameoed in the movie. But obviously they'll wait for that before spoiling anything. Obviously, Handsome Deadpool getting that spoiled already is kind of a little new for MFF. We don't get a lot of spoilers. The last big spoilers I can think of is all the way back to the Infinity War update, where we saw Thor holding a new axe and stuff like that. But otherwise, we haven't seen much since then. Other improvements and changes, so other just small little game fixes. Display of team effects and my team has been improved. A favorite feature has been added to set team menu in other battles, so you can favorite all your PvP characters and have them ready to go every single time. The ability category has been added to the filters in the world boss, which is very nice, so you know if you bring in your strikers with abilities and stuff like that to help you out. The button that can check the list of requirements for each stage has now been added, so you can look at the requirements and see the characters already from this screen, which is cool. You can see all the future ones, so instead of having go to the Thanos Vibe website, you can now see it on the actual page and just scroll to see all the requirements for the future, so you can plan accordingly while climbing World Boss Legend. The uniforms of certain heroes have now been updated on the discounted price on the guided quest, so Loki, Hulk, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Shuri, Rocket Raccoon, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Dr. Octopus, Thor, and Groot. Now, all those characters, when you are doing the guided quest, this is for mostly new players who haven't already done the guided quest, you can get their uniforms for even cheaper than usual now with the updated uniforms for these 8 characters, which is dope. They have updated hot deals, so there's a couple new purchases that you can make. Obviously, I don't really give my take on any of these because I don't spend as much. Now, this update, I might be, but the biggest one that I'll tell you is that there's a new one with a custom gear remover for 24 hours. Now, they do not tell you if it can be used on multiple characters or on just one, but if you can use it on multiple, that's a pretty nice deal. $8 to go and remove stuff that would, potentially cost thousands of crystals. Not a bad deal. Plus, you get crystals back and some CTP Reforged cores, as an added plus. A couple other changes that they talk about, not anything too big, as well as some game error fixes, and that is pretty much the patches. As you can see, we're getting a lot of love for this update, and if you can't tell, I myself am extremely hyped. So yeah, we already rambled off enough. I tried making it as quick as possible. Sorry if it was a little longer than usual, but I'm hyped. There's a huge patch notes to go over, lots to talk about, and a huge update, again, coming out at 3 a.m. EST tonight, so 12 p.m. Pacific. We will be live for it, so make sure to come join up the live stream and look at all of the brand new update. If you missed the live stream, all good. I'm going to take highlights from the live stream to make videos, shorts, all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys being here, and if you did enjoy or find this helpful today, or hyped for the Wolverine and Deadpool update, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll see you all in the next video and live stream for the brand new update. Who else is hyped? Have a great rest of your day. Peace.